Again. We'll try this again. Um, Welcome to my world. It's the 8th of August. I don't know where the time's going, but it's moving rather quickly. It is a Thursday, the first Thursday in more time than I can remember um, that we weren't in the car headed to the city of Hope at some point, or that we didn't see an oncologist. This is the first week I haven't seen an oncologist in maybe a half a year. I don't know. Should have been keeping closer track, I guess. And it feels odd. As good as it feels to try and recover some kind of normal, uh, there's still an awful lot of anxiety about the protocols, which are ongoing and constant, that limit what I can do and where I can go and what I can eat and who I can see and visit with and all of those things that tend to make the kind of normal you're looking for a lot more elusive than you'd like it to be. But I feel like I keep getting better and I keep getting stronger. So I will keep doing what the doctors tell me to do because, quite frankly, there's no alternative. It is also today in the afternoon that we got somebody from the Caligula's from the Golden State Water Company to come out and continue our ongoing um, battle about water usage. And today did not go well. um, it finally ended with the representative superintendent heading back to his office to see what he could do for us, and a request that we wait until tomorrow for him to get back to us with that request. In addition to that, I just finished a column. That's one of the reasons that I wasn't able to record this as early as I wanted to. And, got a deadline coming up, and I don't like the pressure of deadlines, so I like to be ahead of them as much as I can. And it has to do with a lot of what I was just talking about to some degree. And you might have to use your imagination to bear with me on this, and we'll see. But I was thinking about life, and I was thinking about um, being the conductor of a full, rich, um, satisfying life. And all of a sudden it occurred to me that while there are a lot of analogies about being a conductor and directing an orchestra and directing your own participation in your own life, uh, there are far more much more consistent examples, parallels that can be found between creating a great story and creating a great life. And I'm sure that somebody must have thought of this before, and I'm sure somebody else must have done it, but I haven't seen it, so I'm going to give it a shot. I certainly did in the column that I wrote. And I wrote the entire column, first draft today, uh, in one sitting, which is probably not healthy for me, but it was great because whatever had to get out got out, and you feel your general lightness of being improves dramatically when that happens. But if you look at the elements of a great story, uh, you know, which are the characters involved in the story, its setting, where it occurs, the plot, what happens to who and when, and conflict. conflict that has to arise in the story, because that conflict is necessary to build tension, and the tension is necessary for resolution. And having having the plot resolved at the end is important for a conclusion that makes sense. The thing that's really fascinating about all of that is that I didn't know very much about any of it, which is kind of sad in a way, because while I've been writing for 35 years, 36 years, I wasn't formally trained as a writer. So a lot of what I've managed to accomplish has been self-taught. So this whole business of plot development and character development and story arc and character arc were all new to me until I started writing the book, and learned very quickly how important all of those elements are. The first iteration of the book was 160 pages or so long, and there were very few characters in the book. The characters were not carrying their own weight. They were two-dimensional. They were flat. They just generally weren't created with enough depth to be interesting. With the help of a really good editor, thank you, Frederick. With the help of a really good editor, I think I learned a lot, a great deal very quickly, about all of those elements. And there's an argument to how many elements of a great story there really are, whether there are 5, whether there are 6, whether there are 8 or 10 or whatever. But with my editor's help, we were able to go ahead and rebuild that story and flesh it out and create what I feel are compelling, dynamic, interesting characters, all of whom justify their place in the book, and all of them carry their own weight. As a matter of fact, there are at least a few of them that were a huge pain in the ass. Can I say that during the blog? I guess I can. They were a huge pain in the ass because when you work hard to develop a character that is fleshed out and fully developed, and try to put them in a situation that they don't think they belong in, that they are uncomfortable with, they will tell you. They will make your life a living hell. They don't want to do what you want them to do, and they make that obvious in a lot of different ways, and it makes it very difficult to continue writing. But if you look at it objectively, the author creates characters that are going to be interesting and compelling for the audience to read about. Creates a setting that is attractive as well, and that is comfortable, that people can recognize. The whole idea of both of those two elements are to put yourself in that situation, to see yourself as part of this story, either participating in it or as a witness to it. And that's what the plot's all about. What happens to these people that you've created and the life that you've given them? How does it happen? When does it happen? And what impact does it have? Which usually is designed to build tension, to build conflict, so that you can resolve whatever situation that happens. And it's that tension and conflict and resolution that makes the story good, that makes the story great, that makes you want to finish reading it. But you have an opportunity as the author of your own story, of your own life, And this is something that I've come to realize because I think it's something that I've managed to accomplish, at least to some degree, um, quite frankly, through the illness, much more so than uh, I would have accomplished it before, or I would have even thought of trying it before. And that is recognizing that because it's your life, because you're the central character, and because you're the author of this story, you can change character the character's direction, um, simply by changing paradigms, changing assumptions, changing beliefs, um, recognizing new truths, and recognizing the setting that you're in, and developing a plot for your life that's going to give you the satisfaction and the success that you deserve, and to some degree the health and the wellness. You get to decide as the author whether you as the character are going to go ahead and maintain any kind of level of physical fitness. You as the author get to decide whether your character is going to go ahead and meet the challenge of this illness head on, or whether the character is going to shrink from it. You as the author get to determine how you're going to interact with all the other characters in your life. Um, some of whom you've helped develop and helped create, like your kids. Um, you're the one who's going to deal with the tension and the conflict, and you're the one who's going to ultimately find a way to resolve all of it. You're the one who's going to find a way to recognize how wonderful it is that you're well enough not to have to go to the doctor for 2 weeks instead of 1 week, and deal with the anxiety of not knowing how well you are, what the numbers say, until such time as you do that. I believe very strongly that all of these things exist first in your mind and then manifest themselves in reality. Um, so if you're going to be the author of your own life, then think about the plot carefully, and then write the story that you'd be proud to play a role in. And something to think about. Something else to think about. I hope I've given you lots of different things to think about. In the meantime, stay well, take care. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, get a piece of paper and a pencil and start writing.